Okay, put away your initial impressions. I'm not into husbanding any kind of insect colonies or anything like that. Although it might look like that, this is actually the FM section of my new project. Pretty nice shape, isn't it? I think we've had some very happy insects living in here in the past. This is a Graetz Comedia 616 that I've taken out of the casing, and I will be showing you pictures of that process in a little while. But this is without a doubt the dirtiest, worst treated radio that I've ever embarked on. And this one I am not sure that I'm going to beat. It is so full of grime, it is unbelievable. Everything is completely dirty. If you look inside behind the back plate, there's actually balls of fur or something in there. So definitely a good vacuuming and with surgical gloves. Look at that. Wonderful. That's what this hobby's all about. Cleaning. This radio is actually interesting in that it's the first one that I'm restoring that actually comes with a PC board. Although it was hard to see before I got a little bit of alcohol and a brush onto that little section over there. So you can see a component seemed to be in pretty good shape under all that. I suppose all the dirt has served as a protective layer. But it almost looks like it's been in mud. I got to tell you, I took a while before deciding to embark on this one, especially in the way that I do, which is upload the videos as I go along phase by phase, because it's could be one of those embarrassing ones where you just cannot get it working. And I've been left hanging in the middle of a restoration series of videos before. And I know it's not the restorer's fault, but it is a little frustrating when you're expecting to see something come out of it and you see it stop sort of in mid-stride because there's nothing to be done about it. Another reason I'm documenting this quite thoroughly is that I'm expecting to be able to compare the videos at the end with these and have a rather interesting before and after look at it. So the question is, to restore or not to restore? Well, let's have a look at the casing first. So here's the Graetz Comedia 616, and as you can see, the case is deceptively clean. It has a few scruffs and scratches on the outside, but nothing too serious. And an initial impression, at least from a distance, would lead you to believe that this one is probably in pretty good shape. It's also relatively new. It's from 1958, 59, so it's not by long shot the oldest that I've worked on. And it's actually quite modern by the standards of the restorations I've done. Here's a shot of the grill cloth, which is in pretty good condition, although a little bit dirty. That will have to be properly cleaned. Again, we have the magic eye embedded into the grill cloth. No idea if that works or not. We'll have to have a look at that. And as per the other Graetz that I restored and documented, this one has also got the 3 pre-selected tone switches for speech, solo, and instrument. I guess a look at the condition of the knobs should have served as an indication of what I was going to find inside, but being the eternal optimist that I am, I didn't think too much about it. They're in pretty bad shape, very dirty, and there's actually a broken piano button, which is the on-off button. Other than that, I believe most of it is just a question of giving it a good clean to get it back up to a presentable condition. Right, so when we open up the back, we start seeing some of the problems. The first impression is that this thing has been left in some barn or attic, completely unprotected, probably with the back out. And in fact, that's how I received the radio. The back was not connected. My guess is that it's been like that for some time, and the seller just put it in the box when he sent it to me. But it's not all bad news. The speaker is in very good shape. It's dirty as usual, but otherwise there's no tears. The magic eye is still there. No idea if that works. A lot of the rubber is dried out. Now, the first concern starts with the FM section. As you can see, there's absolutely no cover on it. This FM section comes with a metal cover over the top, which is used for suppressing any noise coming in or out. And this one has obviously disappeared. And here's the first sign that we've got a problem. These paper caps are melting. They've actually overheated or been overstressed, and they're literally melting away. So those will all need to be changed. They would be changed anyway. It's just that in this particular radio, I've seen that they're in pretty bad condition. Now this section worries me a bit because it is very dirty, and there are a lot of these little wires flying around there. It's actually hard to discern what is wire and what is spider web and dust. So I'm going to have to be very careful there. This radio comes with a ferrite antenna, which is activated via one of the knobs on the front panel. Obviously for FM, perhaps for long wave, not sure yet. And it also has the normal Selenium rectifier, which again will need to be tested and possibly swapped out for silicon diodes. And here is the detachable button assembly for the 3-tone presets of speech, solo, and instrument or orchestra, as they label it. Again, also in bad condition, but probably salvageable. I've done a bit of thinking about this, and the decision to restore it or not will depend on two things for now. As I said, I can't promise that this one is going to be a total success, but what I do need to determine is if the two main components on this are working. And that would be the power transformer and the output transformer. So I'm going to be doing a few tests here, and just to see whether those are in good condition or if they're open. If they're open, I don't even think this video is going to go on air. If they're okay, I guess we'll plot on. So let's have a look and see if the power transformer is okay. I'm going to test across the leads. It's got very short leads here. Got the meter on resistance. And it's open. It's open. Well, let's not give up yet. There is a fuse in here. There's a fuse in the back of this, very similar to the other one that I did. So let us see. Perhaps the fuse is burnt out. Let's have another try. Yep, I'm getting a low reading. $173 ohms. That sounds like it could be right. Okay, so the primary seems to be okay. How about the secondary? The secondary, what I'll do is measure across the two inputs to the Selenium rectifier. That'll be the measure of the secondary's continuity or not. 145 ohms. Yep, it's there. So the primary seems to be okay for now. So now we have to test the output transformer, and the best way to do that is, I'm trying to recall the circuit. You've got the B plus goes into the output transformer, primary, and it comes out at the, it comes out of the anode of the output valve. So let me take out this EL84. I know the anode is pin 7, so let's try that. There's B plus, comes to the capacitor. I'll take it from the capacitor, filter cap, top to pin 7. 516 ohms. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Okay, so the primary seems to be okay. Now how about the secondary? Secondary, what I'll do is remove the speaker connector. I've actually soldered an extension to the speaker here and plugged it, made it pluggable into a different speaker I've got to make it easier to work with. So I'm going to measure the secondary, and I get, that's pretty high, isn't it? Well, 290 ohms. I must say I expected a bit less than that, but there's continuity. There's another way I can do this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect the speaker again, and I'm going to feed a signal from the signal generator into the primary. Exactly, I'm going to feed a signal from the signal generator into the primary of the transformer, and if it's working, we should hear the tone at the speaker. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. How do we do this? Okay, 400, let's make it 600 hertz. Let's give it 1 volt peak to peak sine wave. So I've got a 1 volt peak to peak sine wave at 1000 hertz, and I'm going to feed it into the input. I can hear something. Yep, there we go. Coming out, it's coming through. Let me put the voltage up. It's very faint, but I can hear it. Okay. So, our output transformer seems to be working. The power transformer seems to be working. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right. We'll carry on. First thing to do is a good cleanup. Get out the vacuum and the blower and see if I can get rid of some of the grime. Let's get to it.